We're good. Okay, before we start, the Kinnim Masechta sent out an email yesterday saying that they're doing raffles for over the Yom Tov. The point is to get people to Chazara over the Yom Tov, just to find some time. So what we came up with is either, like we said yesterday, our raffle, we're still going to have our raffle, the two raffles for $250 each. Two raffles for $250, but they're also raffling off 2 times $1,000. Then that's first place winner. 2 times 2,000 for second. 2 times 500 for second place, and then 2 times $1,000 for each chabura. 2 chaburas are going to win it. Now, in order to qualify for this raffle, number 1, you got to be signed up with Kinnim Masechta. Number 2, you got to be either one of 2 things. You learn from the beginning of the parak where we started up until where we're up to now, which is Chafhei Amar Aleph. Chafhei Amar Aleph. 5 lines up from the bottom, from the beginning of the parak till there, that will qualify you. Or the second thing to qualify you, what? Yeah, and the second thing to qualify you is 15 minutes a day learning. If let's say you can't finish it over Yom Tov, at least you learn 15 minutes a day. One of those two things, it's from, let's say from Monday, from when we stop this year, let's say, up until right after Yom Tov. So 2 weeks. So you have 2 weeks to finish. If you're just finishing it, you have 2 weeks to finish.
If you miss one day, 15 minutes, can you do
you call me, you text me, and I'll be matanated. We'll make chiva, we'll get mikvah tzvayim, and it's gonna be fine. We'll figure it out. No, but the point is,
You have to 8 times 15 minutes.
if you miss, by the way, no, if you miss, guys, if you miss the 15 minutes, you can still learn the parak, and then you're good to go. That's it. You have 1 or 2 ways in. Finished.
You have to finish at least once.
That's it. Let's go. Okay, we're gonna start now from the Mishnah, Chav Beis. We're gonna just go back a few. Amazing. No, I see it over here. Oh, I see it. We're gonna go back. You see this or no?
I see it.
Oh, okay. Now, so we're gonna go back for. Oh, so Benny, I know you don't have a smartphone, but we'll schmooze later and we'll get you signed up. So we're gonna have. We're gonna start from Chav Beis Amar Aleph, the top by the Mishnah. I know we went past the Mishnah yesterday, but we're restarting from the Mishnah, so it goes with the flow. Sukkah ha-miduvlelas. A sukkah that is miduvlelas. We don't know what it is. Vish atzilas amur mechamasuk sheira. Again, today I'm going to try to go a little bit quicker because I want to cover the ground as we go. So, a sukkah that miduvlelas and its shade is more than the sun is kosher. Hamuva can bias if it's thick like a house. Like we said, that the ceiling is thick and you can't see through. Even though you cannot see the stars from within it, you're in the sukkah, you look up, you can't see the stars, still kosher. My miduvlelas. Now the Gemara is going to ask, what is miduvlelas? Amar Rav Sukkaniya. Rav says it's a poor man's sukkah, meaning there's a lot of gaps. Ushmul Amar and Shmuel says kana oila v'kana yored. 1 beam up, 1 beam down. Like we said, it's like a staggered type of a look. Rav Tani Chada Ushmul Tani Tarti. Rav taught 2 things, 1 thing from the Mishnah, and we say from the Mishnah we're talking about the ratio of the Mishnah. Shmuel learned out 2 things from the ratio of the Mishnah. Rav Tani Chada. Rav learned 1 thing. Sukkah miduvlelas. My miduvlelas. What is miduvlelas? Miduldelas. He explains touch of miduvlelas. Miduldelas. What is miduldelas? Dal, lashon dal, like a poor man's sukkah. It's shkach. Shetzilas amur mechamasa. It's going to take. It's going to shetzilas amur mechamasa. If now, what does he say? If it's a poor man's sukkah, and even though it's so many gaps, it still has more shade than sun, it will be kosher. So that's how Rav learns it. If it's so much gaps, and there's still more shade than sun, it will be good. Shmuel learns 2 things. What does he say? My miduvlelas, mibulbelas, sort of all confused, but meaning staggered. Vitarti katani, and he learned out 2 things. Sukkah mibulbelas kshera. Number 1 is, he learned out basically, if you have a sukkah like this, like we explained, even if there's more sun than shade, that's his chiddush. Even if there's more sun than shade, that would be good. And the second thing is, a sukkah that has more shade than sun would be good. That would also be good. Okay, very simple. Amar Abaye. Abaye says, Lo shanu ela she'im bein zel zeh shleishet tefachim. So now, Abaye is trying to explain what was the meaning of Shmuel when he says the sukkah mi bulbeles. He's talking about that the beam from the upper and lower beam were within 3 tefachim of each other. Avol yesh bein zel zeh shleishet tefachim psula. But if there's more than 3 tefachim, it's possible. Now, why? We know now the principle is called lavid. If it's within 3, then it sort of makes believe like it's touching. Amar Rava. Now Rava is going to come to try to explain it from his way. And he's going to say even further. Even if there's more than 3 tfachim from the top beam to the lower beam, Nami would be good. So now he says, Nami lo yamaron, elo she'im begagi tefach. One more time. Amarava, afilu yesh bein zel zeh shoshet tfachim, Nami would be good. Now he says, lo yamaron, we didn't say this, elo she'im begagi tefach. Av yesh begagi tefach, ksheira, da'aminan chavoit rami. Now he says even more. He says, we're talking about this whole thing with Lavud is, Rav is not talking about Lavud. Rav is talking about Chavit Rami. Now he says, when does this happen? When you have a tefach above and a tefach of the gap. And now he's going to explain where does he know it from. So Amar Rava. Rava says, Mina aminullah. Where do I know this, that Chavit Rami works? Dechi isbei tefach, that if there's a tefach above, Aminu Chavit Rami. V'chi lesbei, lo Aminu Chavit Rami. He just made a statement. Where do I know it from? So he's going to tell you the Tanan. It says in Mishnah Nehalis, Kairis Habayis Valiyah. Just a quick reminder. What is it? There's a house. The house has one floor and then another floor, and it's not fully sealed. And now we're going to say if it's the beam on top is on top of the beam below it or in between. And we're going to go through and see what he means. Kairis Habayis Valiyah she'en aliyah maziva. That does not have plaster. And they are sort of one directly on top of the other. If let's say there's tuma underneath any of the beams, then underneath that beam is tame. Very simple. Now remember, this is the one on top of the other. So if the tuma is in the middle, then only between here is where it's tame, not anywhere else. Simple. Now he says, Agabe. If it's on top of the top one, there's nothing above it, it goes straight to the Rikia, till Shemayim. Now he's going to give it a little shift of the case. If, let's say, the top ones were in between, sort of in a way, like we said, like it would come down and sort of cover the gaps, then Tuma tachten tachas kulon tameh. Now, if the Tuma is underneath any of them on the bottom row, then it's tummy. Why? Because of Kavod Rami, right? So it's going to drop down, lock into place, and we're going to have a flat surface. Now, if it's on top of any of them, al gabein kinei dad l'lakia tummy. Why? Because whichever one it's on top of, there's nothing above it. Why? Because if it's on top of this one, it goes straight through. If it's on top of this one, there's nothing above it. So it's very simple. So now, and he added even more on that. When do we say this? In a case that there's a tefach, meaning the beam above has a tefach, only then do we say this. And by the gaps on bottom, it's wide as a tefach, so that way it sort of fits in imaginarily. It fills the gap, correct. So what happens if you don't have that tefach above? Then whatever it's underneath, only that will become tamei. It won't spread across. Why? Because you won't say chavait rami. So it's not going to come in and fill the gaps, just like you said. The tefach on bottom. Why not? Of course. Of course. Why not? No. It's whatever. It can't. Why can there be more? No, open the won't. Oh yeah, it can't be. It has to be open pretty much just that amount. If it's more than that, then it's gonna. I would assume so. That would be my assumption. Alma. So we see ki is beit tefach aminu chavet rami. V'chila is beit tefach lo aminu chavet rami. Shma mina. So that's how we see. So we learn now from there. If there's a tefach, you say chavet rami. Not, you don't. Yosef Rav Kahana. Rav Kahana was sitting and learning. V'ka'amar lahashmat, and he was talking about this sugya. He was sitting and learning. He was talking about the sugya. Amalei Ravashi came and told him, Rav Kahana, he's come to him with a question. Really? Are you coming to tell me that wherever there's no tefach, you don't say chavid rami? Now let me bring you a case. Now, if you guys remember, when we discussed this, basically, we went through 5 scenarios to get to the last one, which is the one that we needed. Just recap outside. I have still the sticky note. The 5 scenarios are, number 1, we're going to say beam from one side to the next. That doesn't touch, does touch. Remember, it's within 3 tefachim. Number 2 is each side with a gap in the middle. Remember, this is by a mavoi. A mavoi, in Irvin, correct. A mavoi that what? That's in order to carry, the Rabbanan made a rule that you have to have this going across. So case number one is the beam from one side to the next. Case number two is with the gap either on the side or in the middle. Case number three was if you have two parallel beams that were each less than a tefach, but they're mamish right next to each other, would that be good? And then we talk about if they could hold a brick. Remember? Two beams, if they could hold the length of the brick, he made a kuludig case why the mamish narrow beams, but because they can hold it, we imagine it's like one big beam. And then the last and final case, which is where we wanted to get to, is we had one thin beam above, one thin beam below, and from there we see, it's thin, it's not a tefach, and yet that would work. And that's what we're going to get to, and we're going to answer it and say that that's not the case. Okay, let's see it inside. Yosef Rav Kahana v'kamal hashmaita. Rav Kahana was sitting and learning this sugya. Amalei Rav Ashi Rav Kahana. Rav Ashi came and asked Rav Kahana, really, are you coming to tell me that wherever there's no tefach, you can't say Chavod Rami? V'ha, Tanya, we learned in the Brisa, in Erevin, a beam that goes from one side of the wall and doesn't touch the other side of the wall. And they both don't touch each other, meaning there's a gap in the middle. Why? Because of lavud. Very simple. Why? Because again, you cannot say lavud, it's too much of a gap. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel says, he learns lavud differently. He learns four, very basic. That is the first two cases. Now we're going to go to number three. Two, like we said, hamasimois, like Rashi says, two umim, like mamish, look parallel, thin beams. One on its own would not be able to hold the brick. Now, meaning each beam on its own cannot carry a brick, but if you put them right next to each other and you had a brick on its length sitting on top of it, it would hold it. So that would be good, and you would not have to bring another beam. Comes Reb Shimon ben Gamliel, and he gives a more lenient case. This is case number 4. Reb Shimon ben Gamliel Omer imikablos oriach la'arkoi, if it can hold it on its length, meaning the other way. Meaning the last case was really the width. This case is the length, meaning you have these two, and you have the beam sort of sitting like this. So now it's holding mamish even more of a distance.
Easier.
What?
No, it's more easier to hold.
No, but it's much more of a kula because it's a much bigger gap.
That's what I mean.
It's a kula. It's
cooler.
correct. He's being more makel. Correct. So Reb Shimon ben Gamliel is giving a more lenient case. Yes. So Reb Shimon ben Gamliel Omer, if he holds it on its length, shloisha tvachim, ain't tzarich levi kar acheres. He doesn't have to if it's within 3 tvachim. Ve'im lav tzarich levi kar acheres. He would have to bring another beam. So now we're going to go into the 5th case, which is where we wanted to get to. Comes this case, you have one beam above, one beam below. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Royin hal yana kilu hilamata. What is Royin? Royin means we see as if it is. That's sort of the concept of Chavod Rami. We imagine that it came down. Royin hal yana kilu hilamata. Ve'es hatachtoina kilu hilamala. Ubevad, just so, that what the top one shouldn't be higher than 20 amas. And the bottom one should not be less than 10. As long as it's within that space, it would be good. So we say Chavod Rami. Afagav, the lesbe tefach, and that's the whole question. We got to the point. Even though we don't have a tefach, we say Chavod Rami. So how can you say that Rava says that you have to have a tefach? So now we're going to come back and answer it. And we're going to say like this. Amalei, say back to him. Teretz, come say a teretz, you have to explain it. Ve'emahachi, and say it like this. Ubavad sheloi tehel yoina l'malam esrim ele b'toich esrim. That what the top one should not be higher than 20, rather must be within 20. Ve'hatachtoina smuchala b'pachas mishloisha. So here's the answer. This case of Rabbi Yossi was never Chavod Rami. It was Lavad. We have to explain it this way. It's within 20. The beam below it is within 3 tvachim from it. So there's no Chavod Rami. It's Lavad. Very simple. Inami b'vad shleitei hatachtoina Shaloi tehei tachtoinu lamata me'asara, ela lamala me'asara, v'alyon esmuch b'pochas mishaysh. Same thing. Top one shouldn't be higher than 20. Wherever the top one is, the one right below it should be within 3. The bottom one shouldn't be lower than 10 tvachim, but wherever it is, the one right above it should be within 3 tvachim. Very simple. Aval. Shloisha kivan de lesbe tefach le'eminon chavoit rami. We don't say chavit rami, and basically this switches over to lavad. Very simple. Now we're going to move back. This is back into the Mishnah, where it says vishetzilasa merubim mechamasik shera, and when its shade is more than the sun, it's kosher. Now this was the one where we had like a little bit of a confusion, let's call it. But basically, if you want to know, it depends. Very simple. Where we are analyzing it. Are we analyzing from the top or from the bottom? If we're analyzing from the bottom and that's 50-50, means it's 50-50, then what's above? Above has to be thicker. In order to have the bottom be 50-50, the top has to be thicker. Now if the top is 50-50, then the bottom is lighter. That's that simple. Whichever way it's in reverse. So that's how it is. So now, one second. Vish, it's also fine. However, according to this, if it would be 50-50, it would be possible. V'hatanan b'idach perik, and we learned in the first perik, which is by Dav Beis, the beginning of the Masechta. V'shechamasim mitzvasa psula haki adadi. Share if it was 50-50, it would be kosher. Loi kasha, it's not a kasha. Kan mila mala and kan mila mata. Like we just explained, one you're measuring from the top, and one you're not measuring, analyzing from the top, and one you're analyzing from the bottom. I think that's a better word. Amar of Papa says, Hainu dami inchi kizuzu milel ki istera mil tachas. Basically, a zuzah and a istera are two types of coins, and if you have a small coin above and like you shine a light, it'll give a bigger shadow on the bottom. Now, hamu v'kamin bayis. Where are we up to on?
17.
Oh, okay, fine. Wrap it up. Fine, we're gonna get to the Mishnah. Hamu v'kamin bayis. Ton Rabban, the Rabban learned. Hamu v'kamin bayis. Alpha pi she'enek kachavim ner b'teicha. Even though you cannot see the stars from within it, it's kosher. Now, what is he coming to tell us? Now, this is the next part. So Beisham is just coming to add a new thing that he passes if you can't see the rays coming through it. Rabbi Isai, have a wonderful night. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Have a good night.